Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Tuesday, February 3rd. The Super Bowl is this Sunday, February 8th. The Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party is this Saturday, 12 to 5 at historic 1255 Ninth Street between Howard and Mission. Now, right now, we're talking about the NFL draft and the announcement by Visit Pittsburgh that the NFL draft red carpet renderings are released. And first, they were placed by the NFL on Twitter and look, well, something like this. And voila. Now, let's give a bigger view of what's going on here so that we can talk about it even more intelligently. It looks like, if you take a look at this setup, this really looks a lot like what was proposed for Washington D.C. and the Commanders, with you where you have the proscenium arch in the center, and you have these, I call them bumpers on either side, that shield the green room and other necessary rooms, like for example, an interview room if you're going to have the media back there. So until I can get a mock-up though, I'm going to add my familiarity, my 20 years of experience with the NFL draft, and say that these bumpers and these blue areas, these bumpers represent holding rooms and dressing rooms and interview rooms, and the media area for the NFL draft, but not the red carpet, which in and of itself is a big affair. So the question is, where will it be? I'm going to guess now that it's going to be just like it was in Green Bay, inside the stadium itself. This is outside the stadium. All right. This is outside the stadium, but right next to the stadium. At Green Bay, there was a similar setup, giant arch outside the stadium and a number of feet away from it. But the NFL draft red carpet was inside the stadium. They called it actually a green carpet, Lambeau Field green, right? So the entire affair is set in what the league calls a campus. And this is the overhead. Isn't that something else? A breathtaking representation. It looks like something Anthony Holdsworth did for me when I was forming the bid to bring the Super Bowl to Oakland in 1999 to 2000. He created Anthony Holdsworth. He was a famous Oakland artist, a rendition of the Coliseum as it would look for the 2005 Super Bowl. This reminds me of that, because this is a rendition of how Pittsburgh is going to look when it is throwing the switch on all the facilities that you can see below for the NFL draft. And if you take a look down, you get a really nice idea. Let's see if we can move in here even closer. What the places that we be used are emphasized. Right here is the Heinz Stadium right there. And note the parking lot is being used. Someone made a comment that this is going to be an adventure in hosting because there's no up close parking. You have to walk. And as you can see, that observation is reflected in the layout of the plan. Not not a square inch of parking space land is wasted by the Pittsburgh and NFL people. All are occupied for purposes related to the NFL draft. And there is virtually no space for cars unless, of course, you have some little tuck area in there that I'm talking about down here, right? So that's the stadium. And on one side of the stadium, not this one, will be the stage. And so the way it looks down here is the actual stage will be on the other side of the stadium, and this side is the festival area. So you have the stage on one side, which was the opposite side with its back to us, and then on the foreground side you have NFL draft festival setting. That's what it looks like, a festival setting. Now that's not confirmed. Possibly the red carpet would be down there. I believe the red carpet is going to be inside the stadium. They'll call it a gold carpet, just like they called the NFL draft red carpet in Green Bay inside Lambeau Field, the green carpet. All right. So that's my guess, and I'm sticking to it. But you can see why when Three Rivers Stadium was where it was, which is at the point, at the tip, and that island where the Three Rivers met, it was called just that, Three Rivers. And isn't Pittsburgh magnificent? I have never visited Pittsburgh. Perhaps you have, and you can give me some tips on what to eat, where to go, that sort of thing. But I made a call to visit Oakland. Visit Oakland. I'm sorry. I meant visit Pittsburgh to find out more about where that's located and what they're thinking about. So let's read some of the information that is associated with the presentation of this NFL draft red carpet and learn more about the event. What it says here, as I read it, is NFL reveals 2026 NFL draft stage renderings in Pittsburgh. The NFL unveiled renderings of the 2026 NFL draft stage outside Arrigher Stadium. I used to call it Heinz, for April 23rd to the 25th, featuring a towering display with ... featuring a towering display with a number 74 Steelers defender, draft clocks, and skyline views of the Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio rivers, the Three Rivers. A two-site event pairs the main stage with fan zones at Point State Park, connected by Gateway Clipper boats. Fans buzz with mock draft picks like Penn State quarterback Drew Allar or Alabama's Ty Simpson at number 21, though some worry the North Shore spot could get chaotic with crowds. That story is a summary of a post on X and may evolve over time, it says. Okay. So then Nick Farbaugh says, here's the first look at the NFL draft stage. And use the reference number 74 here. Okay. As you can see, excuse me. And it's quite exciting. It's a setup that looks like it's going to accommodate a great number of people. And let me go and switch over to the proper view of the draft. Let me switch over here to this. That's in a large part. And then here, yeah, there we go. Now you can see what's been talked about with the number 76, the player featured here, Steeler. And this is how the setup will look on the stage with the Steelers on the clock. Round one pick, I believe it is 16. Round one pick 16 for the Steelers. Yeah. And it's nothing if not authentic, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So it also reads that as we go along through this, we get rid of that, right? And we scroll down. It says, Joy says, I think the city of Pittsburgh is greatly underestimating how many people are going to be at the draft. The location of the stage is going to be a nightmare. And I have to agree, because what you're looking at there in terms of where the stadium is, Detroit drew 775,000 people to the draft over a 3-day period. You need one free and clear space that can accommodate at least 200,000 people. And I don't see that that's here. If you go inside the stadium, at least you have a chance of handling a good percentage of that, right? But I don't see that that's the case here. Excuse me. And so this is going to be a tight NFL draft. Uh, really tight NFL draft. And even the artist renditions point to that with this selenium arch looking like it has these tables at the bottom, the NFL team tables, but also people kind of crammed in there next to it, right? If that's the intent, if that's the image they intended to present, well, bravo, they've done a great job of that. A fantastic job. What else are we learning here about this? It also says, excuse me, as I scroll down here, that behold, the place where if the Steelers draft Drew Alar, I'll quit my job. That says Andrew Filipponi of the Pony Express. And these are people I need to follow too, since they are of Pittsburgh, right? Brooke Pryor writes, here's what to expect the draft setup to look like in Pittsburgh in a couple of months. And again, we see the same 3 photographs and some engagement with those photographs. Derek says, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. And I am no expert, but this looks like a parking nightmare. It is. It is a parking nightmare because there is no parking. There is no parking. Adam Crowley writes, with the 21st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. And the front office sports says the NFL has unveiled the official stage for the 2026 NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. Steelers Depot, 2026 NFL Draft in Pittsburgh renderings. Yin's excited or nah? And let's see, are they excited or not? Let's see what the Yinses are saying. And so Jeff Johnson says, not as much as I was before the 2025 college football season. Many college quarterbacks failed to prove themselves and either fell down draft boards or are returning to college to improve their play. Don't see Steelers spending the first round pick on a quarterback now. And the nod to remember the Titans. Very cool. Mason Randolph writes, William and Mary's finest. 19 seasons, 200 wins, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a Lombardi trophy at age 36. A gold jacket career by any measure. Despite coaching thousands of players, you made time for real conversations with all of us. You cared enough to ask us about our players, our parents, grandparents, girlfriends, wives, and so many more. Practice squad or starter, it never mattered to you. This is Mason Rudolph to Mike Tomlin. Then he goes on, you drafted me, taught me, challenged me, stayed patient with me, celebrated with me, and most importantly, you kept the same positive energy, win or lose, and never blinked. You were the unwavering rock for our team, and it was a privilege to call you my head coach for 7 seasons. I will miss our constant banter, your witty one-liners, and the Denzel Washington-like swagger you carried on Sundays. To the biggest, baddest, and most boisterous personality I will likely ever know, thank you, Mr. T. That was nice. He has photographs here with Mr. Rudolph and talking with him about different things. And it was very nice. It was very nice. Pittsburgh Steelers, right, throughout Black History Month, we're highlighting those involved with the Steelers organization who attended HBCUs, that's historically Black colleges and universities. Today, we're featuring defensive end L.C. Greenwood, who attended Arkansas AMNN. There's LC, the mighty LC Greenwood, number 68. Wow. So that's a little foray into some Steelers news, but back to the draft itself. Yeah. Now, what do I expect from the draft this time? I'll tell you. It's a question that you're asking me. I expect Fernando Mendoza to actually have his draft party at his parents' house. I believe he lives in Miami. Wherever his parents are, I believe he's going to have his own affair there. I don't think he's going to come to the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Now, I would love to be wrong, okay? Because I believe that every top tier player should enjoy and take advantage of the giant spotlight that's going to be on them. And that is certainly true for Fernando Mendoza. I think it would be a mistake for Mendoza to opt out of the draft in that way and say, look, I'm going to be at home. I'm going to have my own party. And you can bring your cameras into my house or my mom's house and you can talk to us there. I think he needs the appropriate exposure that an NFL draft first round pick will certainly receive, as did CJ Stroud in his day, by being at the NFL draft. You will regret not being there if you don't go. It will be as I can't say this enough, an absolute error, big mistake, not something you should do. Just no, 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 across the board. Fernando Mendoza has got to be there. You've got to be at the draft. There's no other consideration there should be, because we're all robbed of your presence. I'm robbed. All right. You might have these little memories, but your coming out party will be for naught, because you will not be at the draft and you will not get the appropriate level of love and scrutiny and everything else that other players got, because, hey, look, you're not really there. Okay. That's hard to explain. Okay. That is just a hard thing to explain. It's not something should be done. All right. Let me see what other comments are here regarding the draft. That's about Mason Rudolph's post. Excuse me. All right. And Bob Pompea says it's going to be a tremendous week for Pittsburgh, looking at the renderings. And Baku says the official stage for the 2026 NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Here it is. And he says it's lit. And I have to agree with him. It looks quite like it is backlit. That's not what he meant. Gary Maraldo writes, I think that Jerry Bertier, I think that Jerry Bertier pick, I was hoping he would. He said, let me phrase that again. I like that Jerry Bertier pick, he writes. I was hoping he would slip a bit to number 16. Still could happen. Okay. Still could happen. And Tree Carney talks about the NFL draft 2026 stage, which is laid out and says, all right, I'm ready to battle. I'm ready to battle. I'm ready to battle. This person says, this isn't accurate. I think the rivers will still be frozen the way it's going. Yeah, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. I think the NFL scored the jackpot in bringing the Super Bowl back to Santa Clara in the Bay Area so that San Francisco could dust off its now, aged, I would say, Super Bowl city concept. And you can see how we really live and what is going on with respect to this background that I've decided to show you, and you decided to render opinion on. So tell us, stay or go. I look forward to your replies. And remember, subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com. Do not be shy with your feelings, folks. let your flag fly and let us know how we're treating you. Let us know how we are doing. All right. We'll see you. Okay. Thank you.